Hi everybody. As promised, Mr. Trump has wreaked havoc on the first day of his presidency. He had signed almost more than 80 executive orders, more than any other president has done in American history on his first day. Still, two things stand out, two issues stand out. I think that will mark the way his presidency is going to go. One is ending the birthright citizenship, the other is pardoning all the insurrectionists or the January 6th, which happened on his watch. So let us go into this birthright citizenship issue and how it is going to pan out, whether it is legal, and what several attorney generals of several states are saying there in the US. And Mr. Trump said, has promised in his election manifesto, that he is going to end birthright citizenship. It means that the rule as of now in America, as per the 14th Amendment to the American Constitution, it clearly states that anybody who is born in the US is an American citizen, irrespective of who their parents are, irrespective of their citizenship status, irrespective of their legal status, whether they are illegal immigrants, whatever they are. If you are born in the US, you are an American citizen and you are entitled for an American passport. And the biggest beneficiary of this are us Indians. Because H-1B visas, student visas, we are the ones who are getting it the most, and who is going to be affected if this is going to be implemented in letter and spirit. Indians will be at the receiving end. So many of us are there on H-1B visas, student visas, and dependent visas. So what's going to happen now? If this executive order is implemented in letter and in spirit, I'm stressing that because there are so many plausible permutations and combinations. What they say is, per se, this executive order cannot be sustained because it is running directly afoul of Article 14, Amendment 14 of the American Constitution. They say an executive order cannot override constitutional provisions, which we all know pretty well. And if at all they're going to amend the Constitution, then it requires 2/3 majorities in the Senate, and 2/3 of the states of the US should ratify them, which is a tall order. And the opinion polls, right, one in CNN, it says already this executive order is becoming unpopular, saying around 55% of the people are saying we are opposing it, and 45 are saying they support this kind of a move. So what does it mean? See, earlier, someone is there on an H-1B visa or whoever, whatever it is, if they're going to give birth to a child there, the child automatically becomes a US citizen and gets a US passport. But now, as per this executive order, if you are there on an H-1B visa and your wife is your dependent, or you are in an H-1B visa, your wife is on an H-1B visa, if a child is born now, that is after February 20th, that is the cutoff date, then you cannot become an American citizen. So what nationality will they take? Nobody knows. And if you are an illegal immigrant, if the mother is again an illegal immigrant, automatically it goes off. If one person is an H-1B visa holder, the other person is an illegal immigrant, it's over. If one of the spouses is a green card holder, the other is legally here but not a green card holder, then it's a possibility the child may get American citizenship. So green card or American citizen, the parents of the children, either of the parent, must be a legal, should have permanent residency. Green card is a permanent residency, or you should be an American citizen. If both the parents does not have this criteria, then they are doomed. So how are they going to handle this? Nobody knows. Whether they will become, say for instance, if an H-1B visa holder and his wife, who is also an H-1B visa holder, both of them are working there in America and they get a child right now, after February 20th, what will happen to their child? If this executive order is followed, they will not be considered an American citizen. And which country's citizens will they be? They are not born in India. So how the Indian government is going to handle this? There is no clarity yet. This has created a political earthquake in the US because several attorney generals of several states are filing suit against them. You cannot do this because this is against the Constitution. And they say almost already, if this happens, every year around 150,000 children will be affected. They will be rendered stateless, which we have seen in movies, which may very well happen in the US. Already there is this issue that if you are an H-1B visa holder, if you had brought your child there, and if you don't have a green card, then the child cannot stay there after completion. If the child completes 21 years of age, the child cannot stay there unless the child was born there until now. Add to that now this conundrum. It's going to be interesting next month how the Americans are going to come out of this. This is one thing. The other important issue is that Trump has given pardon, a blanket pardon to all the criminals who have participated in the January 6, 2020 insurrection. They attacked the Congress. One was dead. So some of them were convicted for 22 years in prison, 18 years in prison. All of them were let out now. Nobody was for this except Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump clearly mentioned that he will pardon. The moment he assumes office, on the first day of my office, I will pardon all these people. He said that and he had done that. Even prior to Mr. Trump assuming office, the Vice President, Mr. J.D. Vance, was saying, if you had committed violence on that day, you will not be pardoned. You cannot be pardoned is what the stand of Mr. J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States. But now, I don't know what's going to happen. And most of the Republicans who supported Trump were also of the view that there should not be a blanket pardon. You cannot pardon those people because they've committed an offense. They've been convicted by courts, notwithstanding. This becomes very, very problematic because it sends out a message that if you are with me, if you fight for me, if you fight for Mr. Trump, even though you commit an offense, even though you are a violent criminal, I will pardon you. This is not how democracies function. This is a typical playbook from any dictatorial regime. How the American jurisprudence, the American administration of justice is going to take this. Already the Democrats are up in arms against this. They have issued several statements against both the ending of this birthright citizenship and this pardoning of January 6th insurrectionists. So how it is going to pan out, we'll wait and see. The next few weeks are going to be very intense in the US. The courts are going to play a major role how they're going to sort this out. Because let us not forget, during his earlier presidency, when he said people from the Muslim countries cannot land in the US, that ban was immediately struck down by American courts. Already suits are filed against this birthright thing, and definitely suits will be filed against the January 6th pardon, but presidential pardon is something which is very unique to American democracy, so we may not know what will happen. But with regard to the birthright citizenship issue, definitely the courts are going to play an issue because it calls for the interpretation of the Constitution. So we'll keep watch of all those things. Until then, thank you. Bye-bye.